Jon Rahm has become one of the most well-known games in golf over recent years and has already achieved a lot in the game at only 28 years old. Over recent years, Rahm has held the torch for Spanish golf and has been leading the way for his country on the PGA Tour. It's 2022, and it's safe to say that Jon didn't hit the heights he would have wanted on the grass. Rahm made his major breakthrough in 2021, but the following year seemed to bring with it a few issues with the Spaniard's swing, seeing him not perform to his best in the major tournaments. In this video, we'll be talking about Rahm's performances and issues with his swing during 2022, and what his prospects may look like as he heads for glory in 2023. Before we get started, please don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoy the video, and click subscribe so you don't miss out on any future golf content. Spanish 28-year-old Jon Rahm has made quite the name for himself since turning over to the professional golfing ranks back in 2016, but it was in 2020 where he would get his first major and put his name in the spotlight. In July 2020 at the renowned Muirfield Village Golf Club in Dublin, Ohio, Jon Rahm would put in one of the best performances of his career and finish 3 strokes ahead of American Ryan Palmer in the Memorial Tournament. This victory would mark Rahm's first ever professional major title, and he would subsequently become the #1 player in the official world golf ranking. A year on from Rahm's breakthrough in 2020, the Spaniard would continue to take his game to new heights during the season. In June 2021, Rahm would be forced to withdraw as defending champion from the Memorial Tournament due to a positive COVID test. Unfortunately for Rahm, he was in pole position to win the tournament back-to-back, as at the time of his withdrawal, Rahm had completed the 3rd round with a 6-stroke lead. Despite the disappointment at the Memorial Tournament, something much bigger was around the corner for Jon Rahm. He entered into the US Open 2021 against some stiff competition with the likes of defending champion Bryson DeChambeau, former world #1 Brooks Koepka, and current world #1 Rory McIlroy, also competing in the 121st edition of the US Open. Things were extremely close heading into the final day at the 2021 US Open, and defending champion Bryson DeChambeau took the lead after nearly making a hole-in-one on the par 3-8. Bryson then bogeyed both the 11th and 12th before making a double bogey on the par 5 13th and a quadruple bogey 8 on the 17th. This opened up the leaderboard, and Jon Rahm would go on to birdie both the 17th and 18th holes to win his first US Open and his first major championship. On the par 5 18th, he found a greenside bunker with his second shot, chipped out to 18 feet, and holed the putt to finish at 6 under for the tournament. Rahm became the first player since retired American golfer Tom Watson to win the US Open with birdies on the final 2 holes. For his performances over the 2020-21 season, Rahm received the PGA Player of the Year award, followed by the Barton Trophy and the Byron Nelson Award for lowest scoring average. That wrapped up an incredible 2021 for Jon Rahm, and it saw him go into 2022 full of vigor and optimism. Fans were excited to see where he could go from here, and if he could build on his first major tournament victory the previous year. Rahm started off 2022 at the Century Tournament of Champions at Kapalua Resort in Hawaii, where the Spaniard shot 33 under par for 4 rounds, including a 61 in the 3rd round. This broke the original PGA Tour to par scoring record at 31 under par. However, it was not good enough to win the tournament, as Australian golfer Cameron Smith finished on 34 under par to take the title and eclipse the scoring record. Heading into the Century Tournament of Champions, Jon Rahm said this: "I set my goals every year, and I'm pretty ambitious, so I'm not always going to accomplish everything I set my mind out to. It can be tough in a sport where the most accomplished athlete of all time won 30% of the time, right? That being Tiger Woods. I think there's a lot of things you can do well as an athlete and as a player to consider a positive year. Obviously, you want to win events. That's there." Rahm talks about dealing with the ups and downs that come with playing sport, and how even Tiger Woods, considered by most to be the greatest golfer we've ever seen, only won 30% of the time. As mentioned by Tiger previously, dealing with losses, injuries, and failures all comes down to the mindset, understanding you're not going to be fully fit all the time, nor will you be playing your best golf all the time, and that it's all part of the sport. Just under a month onwards from the Century Tournament of Champions, Rahm would travel to the Torrey Pines Golf Course in San Diego, California for the Farmers Insurance Open. In San Diego, Rahm finished a tied 3rd finish on the leaderboard after missing out on the playoff between Luke List and Will Zalatoris by only 1 shot. American golfer Luke List would be crowned the winner. By most golfer standards, Rahm's 2022 season was not all that bad. He picked up a few wins on the PGA Tour and put in some great performances over the course of the year. On May 1st, Rahm won the Mexico Open for his 7th career PGA Tour victory. In September, he shot a final round 62 to finish tied 2nd at the BMW PGA Championship, one shot behind Shane Lowry. In October, Rahm won the Acciona Open de España in his homeland of Spain. And in November, Rahm won the European Tour season-ending DP World Tour Championship. He won by 2 shots ahead of English golfer Tyrrell Hatton and Swedish golfer Alex Noren. Although there's no doubt that Rahm would have not only wanted to pick up a few more wins throughout the season, but the Spaniard has also mentioned his disappointment in not performing to his best ability in 2022's major tournaments. When asked about his performances in the majors, Rahm said, "I was close at the US Open. I was one back. I just had a bad final round. I don't think there's a way to explain it. For people that may not believe it, I battled my swing most of the year. I wasn't as comfortable as I was the year prior, and that showed." In 2022's Masters, Rahm was not where most expected him to be and did not finish in a top 10 place at any of this year's majors. The closest he came to the top end of the leaderboard was at the US Open, where he finished with a score of T12. On the brighter side, Rahm did indeed have a strong finish to 2022 and is heading into the new year with a bit of momentum and positivity. In terms of gaining an insight into Rahm's thoughts ahead of 2023, here's what he had to say about the upcoming season. "When you go to major championship golf, where you need to be better in every single way, those mistakes are going to show. It seems like in the fall, things got going a little bit better. I felt like for the most part, I was playing better than scores were showing. Maybe once the PGA Tour season was over, I took some time off and reset, and that's why I played well in the fall." On battling his swing specifically, Rahm couldn't put a finger on something exact that was holding him back, but he did say this: "It just didn't feel as smooth as I would have liked." Rahm said, "I had an abundance of top 10s. I think it was close to 50% of the tournaments I teed it up on, I ended up in the top 10, which isn't bad. This year, I did not give myself a chance to win as often as I would have liked." Now that Rahm finished the 2022 season off with a win, and he's had some rest over the winter period, it could spark an improvement in Rahm's swing if his comments are anything to go by. As we look into the early stages of Rahm's 2023 calendar, things look promising. Since LIV has burst onto the scene, the PGA Tour has made a strict ruling that no LIV golf players shall play at any PGA event, causing more controversy with golf players and fans alike. In the Spaniard's first tournament, he'll be back in Hawaii to play the Century Tournament of Champions, where he finished second to Australian golfer Cameron Smith in 2022. However, because Smith has since joined LIV Golf, he won't be featuring in this tournament. Could this leave the door open for Rahm to kickstart 2023 by getting his first victory early on the PGA Tour? This will be a similar pattern where players who previously competed at the tournaments will no longer be there to compete in 2023. The only time LIV and PGA players will cross paths will be in the majors. No doubt the main goal for Rahm this year will be trying to push for another major title. By his standards, his performances in the major tournaments in 2022 were underwhelming, but if he can put a few wins together heading into the majors this year, which seems a little easier to do so as some players have moved over to LIV, maybe that will be all he needs to get his swing back and show us what he's capable of on the course. Whatever happens, it will be interesting to see if Rahm starts off the year with any tweaks or adjustments to his swing, or whether he keeps the same form throughout the year. All golf fans know what he can do and some of the incredible performances he can bring when he's at the top of his game. Don't forget, Rahm is only 28 years old and has shown some great potential on the course. He already has a major title to his name, and if his swing improves, he could well add another in 2023. And with that, that's a wrap on today's video. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe below so you don't miss out on any future golf content. Also, hit the notification bell so you know exactly when we drop next. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the green.